Swinging a high drive into center field. Hits at the wall. It is gone! Casas does it again. It's gone! It's into the bullpen! This game is tied!
He swings and rips one to center field. It's high, it's deep, it's back, it's gone! Sale winds, he fires. Swing and a miss, strike three, it's over! The Red Sox have won the World Championship!
Welcome back to Play Tessie. It's a special Who Says No edition of PT. This is the official Red Sox podcast of WEI. Before we get going, subscribe wherever you're getting your podcasts, rate 5 stars. Find us on YouTube on the WEI channel. Got the Play Tessie playlist there with all of our episodes. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe to WEI. We're also on the socials at Play Tessie on both Twitter and Instagram. Here with Sammy and here with Pat. And Sammy's got a Who Says No for us today. But I just literally, as that intro was playing, I realized that if they trade Casas, we're going to have to get a new intro.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So please don't do that. Don't do it.
Don't even speak that into existence. That's...
If they trade Casas, I might die, and then we would have to get a new intro.
If what in the intro when it says Casas, if we just had a robot voice butt in and say the new first baseman, like
Devers
Jr. does it again.
We just gotta have Will customize it for us.
Yeah. Say our names or something sick.
Yee. All right, Sammy, what do you got for us today?
All right, I got the Red Sox trading for Juan Soto. No. All right, so this is a weird one. This whole trade is contingent on the Red Sox adding another starting pitcher somehow. Doesn't matter how, doesn't matter who. This is just if they add another starting pitcher. Okay? Here we go. Red Sox are trading with the Minnesota Twins. They are sending Kutter Crawford of Okeechobee to Minnesota in exchange for Jhoan Duran, old friend Christian Vazquez, and cash, around $5 million. So why does this make sense? In this scenario, the Red Sox are filling two needs. Jhoan Duran has the fastest fastball in the world. Not a Major League Baseball, not from a right-hander, in the world. He has the fastest fastball. He gets a ton of swings and misses in the zone, and he can close for the Red Sox. He can set up in high leverage. He is the ultimate Red Sox dream arm that staff would just fall in love with. And you'd have him for 3 years for absolutely no money. So that's part one. Part two, Red Sox add a backup catcher, Christian Vazquez. He's not the same guy he used to be offensively, but he's still, a little above average blocking, very good with framing, not as good as he used to be with controlling the run game. But if that's your backup, that's not bad. And then I also have the Twins sending the Red Sox, call it between $3 to $5 million. Vazquez is currently making $10 million. That's a lot for a guy of his caliber. So to even out the trade, so the Red Sox aren't grossly overpaying here, the Twins, let's have them send $5 million. So they split the $10 million. Twins still save money. That's the most Twins thing ever. They love to save money. And if you look at their depth chart, they do have a lot of starting pitchers already in Minnesota. They also have a ridiculous amount of injuries and injury-prone pitchers. So I don't think it's out of the question that they would like to add another starter. Kutter Crawford, he's still on a rookie deal. He's improved each of the last 3 seasons. He's a guy we talk about all the time, making strides. Yes, he has the home run issue, but the overall numbers are still good. And you better believe that home run issue would go down a little bit in Minnesota, which is a much tougher ballpark to hit in than Boston, where he'd be making half his starts. And he's not a free agent until 2029 on a rookie deal. So that's the kicker right there. Twins would love to have another starting pitcher that they're not really paying anything for under team control through 2028, not a free agent until 2029. So to recap, Red Sox get Jhoan Duran, Christian Vazquez, about $5 million, and then the Twins get Kutter Crawford. Who says no?
You had me laughing in the middle there because I was just picturing what a bullpen with 2 guys throwing 105 miles an hour from different arms. Dude. Like you'd have Chapman throwing 105 from the left whenever he feels like it, and Duran throwing it from the right. That'd be bananas. Pat, I want to let you go first. You give your Who Says No response first. I'll follow you up.
If they do add a starter, I think Cutter has very, very good value given where the pitching market is. I will lead with that. To answer who says no, I think the Twins do. And it's for the reason that I say no to who says no on a lot of these. If you have a top tier commodity like a Jhoan Duran, I don't think you diminish his value by putting in a contract or putting in a player that would lessen the return on him. I think they're so much better off just sending him out alone. But the second you brought up the Twins, I looked it up because they have a lot of really, really good young relievers. One guy that I just immediately came up on. Are you guys aware of Cole Sands?
Didn't he have like a half a run
Oh.
ERA 2 years ago or something?
Oh,
Or is that someone else?
No, different guy. He threw in 62 games this year, 71 innings, 85 strikeouts, 3.28 ERA, 91st percentile fastball run value, 97th percentile walk value, and average fastballs 96. That is a guy I think gets paired with the Vazquez in a trade like this. And he's a free agent after 28. He's equally controllable, maybe not that high leverage arm, and with the experience of Duran. I like the framework of the package. I just don't know if Minnesota lessens the return on Duran by throwing in Vazquez in there.
So Pat, I actually looked at Sands. I also looked at Griffin Jax. The reason I
Jax
chose
is crazy. Jax is crazy.
exactly, but that's why I chose Duran. Duran lost the closing job. Jax had a better K rate than him. I think the Twins like him more. I think he's a better reliever than Duran. Plus, team control wise, Jax has, I think, 4 years left, and Sands is, I don't even know if his major league clock has started. So I went through all those names. Those are good names. The reason I settled on Duran is because I think he has the least value right now out of all those guys. And as fun as he is to watch, he's not like a perfect closer or anything near that. I mean, he had a 3.64 ERA this year. The FIP was much lower, but still, like he needs some work. He's not perfect. And I think when people see this trade, they're going to think like, why would the Twins trade him? He's one of the best pitchers in baseball. But then you look into the numbers and it's like, he's got some of the best stuff, but he needs some tweaking. So that's why I just figured like perfect fit. And I agree with you. Maybe they wouldn't do this deal with Vazquez in it to diminish the value. But even with Vazquez in it, take this with a grain of salt. MLB trade values has the Red Sox largely overpaying in this deal. So even with him, it's saying big overpay by Boston. Or without him, it says big overpay by Boston.
Where I stand on this, if I'm the Twins, to even get me thinking, you're going to have to scrap the cash. Like the Red Sox would just have to eat Vazquez. And even then, I still don't know if it would be enough. But that said, the Twins acquiring a young, controllable starting pitcher, like you said, Sammy, like they've got guys controllable. Like I was looking at Joe Ryan is better than I thought. Why am I blanking on the giant dude? Who's the giant dude? He's
Bailey Ober. Joe Ryan, really good. Hurt. Bailey Ober, really good. Always hurt. That's what I'm saying. Ober,
do you want to know the top 4 starting pitchers last year in zone whiff rate? Number 1 was Crochet. Number 2 was Skubal. Number 3 was Reagans. Number 4 was Ober.
Dude, Ober's good. He just can't stay healthy. That's why I wanted to put together a trade package for him, but I couldn't figure out the value just because the talent is so great, but he's not.
Yeah, they just can't.
He's too big. Oh, Paddock, another guy, just came back from injury. Like, they have a lot of guys who are banged up, and Kutter logged innings last year. I just feel like the Twins would really be all over him.
I think Cutter's a good fit. Not as good of a fit as he would be in Seattle. Alex Spear was talking about this on their show, but my God, if Kutter Crawford in Seattle, his one issue is letting up homers. No one lets up homers in Seattle. That guy would be like a freaking Cy Young winner there. But sticking to Minnesota, the reason I think that getting a young starter who's not making much money like Kutter could benefit them is that's a team that might be gearing up for a sale. And that's the reason we're hearing these little speculative Carlos Correa trade rumors. But another guy that's making money that they've extended is Pablo Lopez. If they can fill out that rotation, and if they're really trying to sell and clear long-term money off the books, Pablo Lopez is a guy that they'll definitely be able to offload, but having Kutter in the fold would allow you to have a full rotation. Obviously, a deal like this, very dependent on where they are in that sale process, because I think if they're not close to a sale, or they're not going to do it, they're not going to sell for at least a year, I don't even think that the Twins pick up the phone. To be honest with you, I know that the trade value machine says that the Sox would be overpaying. I just don't think that they're going to trade Duran for that. But if it's selling a team makes teams do weird ass things, and maybe you catch them at the right time with the right offer if that happens to be the case.
Yeah, this one was all about poaching a team that's looking to cut costs with a cheap, controllable asset, and, overpaying on purpose because you want to get your guy. That's the theme of the offseason for me. Get your guy, even if you have to overpay a little bit. Cutter's your 5th guy right now. If you got to overpay with him to get your guy, so be it. Give me the 105 mile an hour fastball.
It's interesting because I know the focus right now is so heavily, and rightfully so, is on, are the Red Sox going to spend money? But the truth is, if the Red Sox sign a bat, it automatically opens the door for, depending on what type of bat they sign, for a Wilyer Abreu trade, or, I'm not going to say it, a trade of a first baseman that I would really rather they not trade. If they sign a starting pitcher, it immediately opens the door for a Kutter Crawford trade. So even though like the roster looks reasonable right now, and they've obviously already made a huge move, every move they do make from this point forward on the free agent market, I guess relief pitching aside, is going to open the door for another trade, for another move. And if they can get a stud reliever like Duran in the door without spending money, that just maybe further. They should try to get one of either the bat, the starting pitcher, or a reliever in on cheap money. And I know this is going to sound stupid because we just want them to spend money, but maybe duck the tax this year. And this will be the Vlad mention of the episode. But if you duck the tax this year, that allows you to really, without any hurt or anything whatsoever, just blow past it for Vlad next year and really not feel the pain at all. Whereas if you go over this year, then if you sign Vlad, you're going over next year and probably beyond. You're going to have to duck back at some point. Usually it's 2 years over, then 1 year duck.
Yep. I don't really care about how much money the Red Sox spend in 2025. The one thing I want them to do ASAP is extend Crochet. That's the only big money thing. I'm like, you got to do it. The other thing was Juan Soto, and that didn't happen. So there's not really anyone on the market right now. I'm like, you got to spend exorbitantly for that guy. I'm like, nah, I feel like there's better options. If you're taking the most money I think they would spend is like trading for Luis Castillo and taking on his $75 million. That's like I can't really think of any big money moves. That maybe Bregman. I doubt it.
Well, that's the thing, Sammy, is what move out there is like obviously there was Juan Soto, but outside of a Crochet extension, which we all agree they have to figure out a way to get done if he's willing.
This offseason.
Yeah. This offseason, what there isn't a perfect option that's like, this guy's a perfect fit in every way and he's going to solve all these issues. There's no A+ sure bet signing or trade that I think they can make this offseason. That doesn't come without risk or
Tanner Scott, I guess, but that's not huge money for a reliever. It'd be big money.
It's a reliever.
Yeah. Yeah, there's really nobody. Everyone's going to cry. You got to spend. And I get that. I've been saying that shit for however, I can't even remember how long I've been saying spend, like 2 consecutive years now. But I don't want them to do anything silly like Santander.
Well, listen, I like those guys. I would be fine, and I would be happy to see them do it. But every single one of the Juan Soto was a risk-free and just sure bet star offensive signing. Everyone else, whether it be due to age, past history, like Santander's had an inconsistent history and a low OB or a low batting average. There's risk there. There's risk everywhere. With Burns, there's age risk. With Bregman, there's decline risk. Like there's risk everywhere.
Scott, dude, Tanner Scott even has risk. Not much of a track record. Looked great
and a high walk
last
rate.
year.
Very high walk rate.
Yep. Yeah. So I would like for them to spend money. It's just it has to be on the right guy. I don't want them to spend. I don't want Pablo Sandoval and Hanley Ramirez in here, even though Hanley wasn't that bad. But you get the point. We don't want that. So, spend on Garrett Crochet, and then
that's the one sure. That was the point. The one sure bet. Like you have to do it. That's the only thing you have to do.
And again, you have to do it this offseason. You can't wait. If you wait, it gets much harder, and then maybe you don't want that slipping into his mind going, maybe I'll test the open market. Max Fried, dude, I can put up better than numbers than Max Fried. He got 15 million or whatever.
And Max Fried was a free agent at 4 years older than what Crochet will be.
So get that pig extended ASAP.
This can sort of be my enough said because we're gonna wrap here. But I sent out a tweet last weekend, and I said my top 2 extension priorities would be, and I've been huge on the extend Tristan Casas front, but my top 2 priorities would be Crochet and Roman Anthony. Crochet definitely the number 1 priority because if you wait even 1 year, as you said, Sammy, like that shit's gonna double. Roman Anthony, if he earns a full year of service time this year, either by playing almost the full season in the majors or by winning the Rookie of the Year, he'd be a free agent entering his age 26 season. All right, like those are the types of guys you have to extend, and you have to do it when they're young. Hopefully he's the type that's willing to consider, because obviously it takes 2 to tango, but those 2 guys, those would be the top 2 extension candidates for me.
Would you extend him with 0 major league games played? Because I certainly would.
Absolutely would. In fact, I would prefer it. Like,
hell yeah. All right, we're all on the same page with that one. Easy.
Any final words from you guys before we get out of here?
I got a prediction.
Let's hear it.
I am willing to wager that Corbin Burns and Alex Bregman sign after Christmas. I think it's going to be that long. I think it's just a lull between winter meetings and the holidays. There's been no rumors at all. That is my prediction. Burns, Bregman do not sign until after Christmas. Or sorry.
Till after the New Year.
First night of Hanukkah.
Okay, I was going to say,
what about after New Year's?
What about after the last night of Hanukkah, which is January 2nd? How about that, Pat? Bregman's celebrating Hanukkah.
Gonna say, this is very specific for Bregman.
Yeah, Bregman's lighting the candles.
Pat, I'll give you my prediction.
He's lighting all 9 candles. That's right, 8 nights, but there's 9 candles. Pat, get learned. Okay,
Bregman signs after Hanukkah. Burns signs before Hanukkah ends.
What if Bregman signs an 8-year deal and they get 1 year done on each night of Hanukkah?
Oh, God.
Or it could be like they could treat it like they could give him the Hanukkah contract. Huge money in the first year, little money in the middle 6 years, huge money on the last year. Bang. All right, Joe's yelling at us to wrap. We got to wrap.
All right, my official prediction before we wrap is that Burns signs before Christmas and that Bregman is a January signing. All right.
Post-Hanukkah.
Yeah, post-Hanukkah specifically. January 3rd, just for shits. All right, that's going to do it for Play Tessie, the special Who Says No edition where Sammy brought a Jhoan Duran. God, I got to learn how to pronounce that name. I think it's Jhoan Duran.
I did notice you were going Duran instead of like Duran Duran. Jhoan Duran.
I pronounce it many different ways. I've switched it up over and over. If the Red Sox got him, I would definitely make sure I got it right. But yeah, good Who Says No from Sammy on this episode. We'll be back in your ears. Hopefully we have an emergency pod. We'll just leave it at that. But if not, then Monday we'll be back. Pat?
One quick nugget. Do not need to follow up. Joe, don't hate me. If we get Jhoan Duran, is his jersey going to have to say J.H. Duran?
Or maybe there might be an accent on it, Pat. If there's an accent, then maybe it would just be okay.
I guess only time will tell.
Well, on that sad note, we wrap special Who Says No edition episode of Play Tessie. Thanks for tuning in. Before you leave, hit the subscribe button wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe, rate 5 stars, leave a comment, tell Sammy what you think of his trade. Hit us up on the socials, do the same. So yeah, at Play Tessie on all the socials. Also find us on YouTube. We're on the WEI page. You got the Play Tessie playlist there. You can find all of our episodes. So subscribe to WEI. Hit the thumbs up on the videos. Subscribe everywhere you get your podcasts. Just subscribe. Please subscribe. But yeah, for Sammy and for Pat, for Joe producing, it's Gordo here for a Who Says No edition of Play Tessie. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see what happens. Coming up soon. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.